It is now my pleasure, and I don't know where we as a state or as a country would be without him, to recognize and invite up for a few words our senior senator, a tireless fighter, again for New Jersey, for the region, for our nation, and certainly the Gateway Project, the one, the only, my good friend, Senator Bob Menendez.
Well, thank you, Governor, very much. Thank you for your leadership as we continue to move a project of national significance together. I am thrilled to be joined by my colleagues in the House of Representatives who have been such passionate advocates, among others, certainly Congressman Series on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, incredibly important to this project and our overall infrastructure development efforts. We're thrilled to have all of the leaders of organized labor here who understand the possibilities, the enormous possibilities for working men and women that could be unlocked if we got a generational project finally moving and done, as well as the business community that understands the enormous economic impact. And while he's not with us today because he is at the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I've already seen some of the early morning interchange that Senator Booker has had as he is in the midst of the Kavanaugh hearings. He has been an extraordinary advocate alongside with me for this project. Throughout my time in public service, infrastructure has been one of my highest priorities. Whether it was working to build the Hudson-Bergen Light Rail when I was a mayor and state senator, to fighting for $100 million successfully for the Liberty Corridor when I served in the House, to securing record federal funding for New Jersey as the ranking member of the Senate's Transit Subcommittee, we've always worked to deliver for New Jersey's communities. And that's because the question of whether we invest in our infrastructure isn't abstract. It translates into real benefits and real consequences for the people of New Jersey. It's the question of whether you can get to work on time or whether you even have access to a given job opportunity. It dictates whether businesses can bring their goods to market and whether they choose to locate in New Jersey at all. It's about where we build our infrastructure and who has access to it. Infrastructure shapes where we live and how we get around. It has an enormous impact on our environment and our economy. And as I've seen time and time again throughout my career, making smart investments in New Jersey's infrastructure yields real benefits, spurring vibrant communities, enhancing job opportunities, and improving the quality of life. And that's why we're here today to talk about the Gateway Project, because of the real-world opportunity the project presents and the real-life consequences of failure to act. The Northeast Corridor is one of the key transportation arteries for a region that, as the governor says, generates 20% of the nation's entire gross domestic product, nearly $4 trillion. A shutdown of the corridor, which may very well be a reality without Gateway, would cost $100 million per day. It would be disaster for our workers, for our economy, and our air quality. Because of its importance, stakeholders on both sides of the aisle and both sides of the Hudson, in the business community and the labor unions that are here, have come together to voice support for the project. But unfortunately, President Trump has missed the message. Like we've seen time and time again, reality is taking a back seat to the president's political vendettas. He's ignoring the national economic benefits this project will generate. He's ignoring the workers who would see good family wage jobs building the tunnels and replacing the Portal Bridge. And he's ignoring the promises he made to the American people about investing in our infrastructure. It's become painfully clear that something is wrong with the administration when we see how we are being treated in terms of handling Gateway. First, we got a poor rating to the Hudson Tunnels project, which originally had a great rating, stalling the project from moving forward in the New Starts process despite its clear merits. And then we saw the administration do something similar with the Portal Bridge, which is even more egregious. Initially, the Trump administration had given the Portal Bridge the second highest possible ranking of all rankings. But after they decided to hinder the project, they reversed course and gave the Portal Bridge the second lowest possible ranking, from the second highest to the second lowest. Same project, same set of circumstances. Then the administration went so far as to threaten to veto the government funding bill and risk shutting down the entire federal government if there was $1 in the bill for Gateway. At the end of the day, we didn't get $1 for Gateway. We got $541 million for Gateway. We did it by working in a bipartisan manner and by refusing to allow the president to bully us into backing down. So there's more to do. The investment will keep the project moving forward in the face of President Trump's opposition. But time and time again, we have fought back against the president's efforts to kill this project. Whether he proposed eliminating the New Starts program entirely, Congress responded by increasing the program's funding. When the Trump Department of Transportation blocked us from taking federal loans, Governor Murphy and the Gateway Development Corporation came up with an alternative financing plan. And when the president threatened to veto our appropriations, we stuck to our principles and passed a bill that gave Gateway $541 million. It should be clear to the president by now that the Gateway project will be built with or without his support. So it's time to stop playing games. It's time to give these projects a rating that is based on their merits. It is time to approve the environmental review that has been stalled by the DOT since March. It's time to move these projects to the New Starts program and lock in the federal funding. The writing's on the wall. This is a fight the administration cannot win, and we will not let them win, because the stakeholders here today aren't driven by petty politics. We're driven by something far, far more powerful. The desire not only to do right by our constituents, but to get a project that is a generational project up and running. 20% of GDP, $4 trillion, an opportunity for a generation to change the realities of 2-century-old tunnels, a century-old bridge, into a new opportunity for this nation. That's what we are in the midst of advocating for today,